Hello everybody, I hope you are fine. This is novel grade 4, general revision on white Sargasso Sea. The most important points we have discussed in this literary text is the theme of racism. As we have said in the online and actual lectures, that racism means discrimination between people on the basis of the color of complexion. That is to say, to distinguish or differentiate in the treatment of people according to their color, whether they are white or black. We have said that this treatment is found in so many parts in the novel. We have seen that the incidents of the novel started after the issuance of the Slavery Abolition Act in 1833, which forbade the ownership and the purchase of slaves, so that the ex-slaves declared themselves as free citizens, so that they left the plantation and the house of Mr. Causeway. That's why he spent a long time in drinking wine or alcohol till his death, resulting from his sadness. Although the British government promised people to pay them compensation, but this doesn't happen. The Causeway family lost their fortune, and their beautiful garden turned into a wild one. Ex-slaves jeer at the family members, and particularly the mother Annette, and they always follow her and throw her by bad speech. When she used to take her horse and take her morning rides among the townspeople, they poisoned and killed the horse in order to annoy her. The only person who protected the family after the death of Mr. Causeway is Christophine, the servant, because the townspeople are afraid of her because of her knowledge of black magic. So they are afraid of being harmed or cursed by her magic. After the second marriage of Annette, the mother, the ex-slaves surrounded the house and throw fire, burning the whole house and killing the young Pierre. The whole family escaped, and the cuckoo bird flew to death because of fire. Also, we have seen elements of racism when the ex-slaves call the white members of the Causeway family white cockroaches and white niggers. They are happy and they laugh upon seeing them afraid by fire. Finally, we see the element of racism through persons such as Daniel, the stepbrother or the half-brother of Antoinette, but he is illegal or illegitimate son of Mr. Causeway, and this throws light on the fact that the slave owners gives himself the right to sleep with the black slave woman and to impregnate her. The child who comes as a result of this relationship is a source of shame for both families. He is not very dark because his biological father is white. That's why Danielle causes a kind of deterioration between Antoinette and her husband, because the husband does not respect the Causeway family when he realizes that old Mr. Causeway had illegal children from his ex-slaves. The second theme is feminism, and of course you know the meaning of feminism. It's a cultural movement that seeks the rights of women. The elements of feminism in this novel appear when the writer Jean Rhyse illustrated that oppression of women results from treating woman as either maid or a slave, and the continual dependence of women on men, particularly the financial dependence. We have two examples of dependent women, Antoinette and her mother Annette. They don't have any careers. They depend on their husbands in order to keep their living. They are opposite to the character of Christophine, who is an independent woman who has a job and is financially independent. She doesn't need a man in order to pay for her living. As we have said that both men, Mr. Mason and Mr. Rochester, proved to be betraying their wives, proved to be greedy, and they both led their wives into madness or hysteria. The third element or the third issue is the post-colonial reading of the novel. By post-colonial, we mean the relationship between the colonizer and the colonized after the end of the period of colonization. Here we have a very complex relationship between the British Empire and the Caribbean islands, because Britain occupied the majority of territories in the Caribbean islands. The relationship between them is depicted as a relationship between master and slave. The British see that the Caribbean are only new markets, new market for their products, and they can exploit their natural resources and human resources as well. But after all, the British do not treat the Caribbeans as inferior to, as equal to the British. Instead, they treat them as being inferior. Being a post-colonial text, Jean Rhyse, the writer of the novel, wrote this novel as a writing back or a resistance literature against Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, because in Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, Bertha Mason, or Bertha the Crazy, the first wife of Mr. Rochester, is depicted as a mad woman in the attic. She is the source of disturbance of the national security and the personal happiness of the English couple. Jane Rhyse disapproved this representation and decided to recreate the character of Bertha and to name her Antoinette in White Sargasso Sea, in order to see how she was a stable woman, and what led her to madness was her relationship to Mr. Rochester, the Englishman, who came to exploit her financially and then to desert her and to lead her into madness, ending with her desire to be free again, so that she didn't find any solution other than burning the whole house and to dance the freedom dance. The fourth question is the character of Christophine. As we have said that Christophine is the nurse and the faithful servant of the Causeway family. She was the wedding present of Mr. Causeway to Annette, his wife. She comes from another Caribbean island which is called Martinique. It's a French island. That's why Christophine is different in her physical appearance and her clothes style than the town's people. Christophine is very much affectionate with the family member, and particularly with young Antoinette. She sings her before her sleep, and she always advises her and explains the world to her. She supports the members of the family and protects them against the evil of the townspeople, whom she threatens by knowledge of her obeah or black magic. What is the relationship between the delineation of the character of Christophine and the post-colonial reading? The relationship is that Christophine is clever at practicing magic, and the townspeople feel afraid of Christophine because of this knowledge, because they also believe in magic. It's related to the post-colonial reading because it's related to the culture of the Caribbean island. Those people have distinct culture, which is considered for the British readers or the first world reader as being superstitions. Then we have the character of Antoinette and Rochester. Antoinette is a Creole heiress. She has a fortune left to her by her step-father, Mr. Mason. That's why Rochester comes to marry her. Their marriage was arranged marriage. At the beginning she was very happy with this marriage, but later on and very shortly she becomes miserable. Rochester tries to and starts to depict many cultural differences between them, and starts to show his disapproval of this cultural difference. This led Antoinette to ask for Christophe's help by preparing her a potion or something to resume Rochester's love. Upon seeing it, Rochester becomes more dismayed of Antoinette. What raises his dismay is his knowledge that she has an illegal brother called Daniel, and that her mother was a mad woman. Rochester takes Antoinette into England and imprisoned her in the attic or the third story of his mason or large house, and keeps traveling abroad. When she decided to restore her lost freedom, she burned the house after all. That's why the relationship between Antoinette and Rochester stands for the relationship between the colonizer and the colonized, and the struggle for independence or having freedom. These are our questions. I hope you answer them in an easy way, and I hope you
This is poetry grade 2 general revision
can assimilate them, and wishing you the best of luck in the coming exam. Thank you for your follow, and wishing you the best of luck. Goodbye.